Welcome to Friday Fire with Dr. Keisha B. Spivey, where you discover how to live life on max in Jesus.
Hello there, and welcome to Module 1 of I Dare You Be Intentional. This session is entitled The Why Behind the What. And I do encourage you to get a notebook, get a journal, get something to take down the questions that I'm going to be posing to you, because this is a time of interaction. This is a time of you literally inviting yourself to a cup of coffee, having a tough talk with you, and deep diving some situations so that you can literally be better than what you've become. Your desire is to become the best version of you possible, and that's what this is. So today I'm talking about the why behind the what. What is that? That is the real explanation or cause of something that is not always so obvious. The why behind the what is the fuel behind why you're doing what you're doing. And it's even the fuel on why you're not doing what it is you need to do. It's so important that we understand the why, because the what looks different some days. The what takes on different jobs, and it takes on different titles, and it takes on different personas, but the why never changes. What do I mean? For me, my why is making a difference and changing lives. That's what I was born to do. That's what I absolutely love to do. And it shows up in different formats. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a teacher, I'm a minister, I run a nonprofit, I run a business, I do life coaching, I do all these different things. So the what has different faces, but the why never changes. So often we start looking at the face and we forget what's behind it. We can look at the title, we can look at the position, and we lose sight of what's really behind it. So often we are so focused on the goal, and we're so focused on the outcome and the objective that we miss what's required to get there. And so often we fail to meet the goal and the objective because we lose sight, or we're not tapped into, or we don't understand the why. We're not tapping into the fuel behind why it is we want what we want. We get focused on what we want, but we forget why we want it. So right now, as you're sitting here and you're listening to this lesson, why do you want what you want? What is it that you want? If it's a closer walk with God, a better relationship with your spouse or your children, if it's to write a book, to start a business, why is it that you want that thing? The what, yeah, you know what it is, but why do you want it? What do you really want? What is it that you're hoping to achieve? What do you believe that accomplishing that thing is going to do for you? What's the trade-off? Why are you willing to exchange your life for that thing? Because your time is your currency for life. Why are you willing to do what you maybe don't want to do? What's maybe uncomfortable? What's inconvenient? Why are you willing to do it? So often we talk about the why, but this entire module, I'm going to be talking about the why behind the what. The why behind the what, because your why is your vision. The why is your reason for being. The why is the essence of your purpose. The why is your assignment. Your why is consistent. It consistently fuels your goals and objectives. It consistently fuels what you're doing. When you think about the why, people come to me often and they want to talk about purpose. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. I don't know what I'm supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be. I don't know where I'm supposed to work. I don't know all the whats. And I deep dive it a little bit by helping them answer some questions on some whys. Because when you figure out the why, you figure out your inspiration. When you deep dive the why, you figure out your passion. When you deep dive the why, it makes you ask questions. And sometimes you may not always like the answers that you get, but at least you're willing to ask them, because nobody else is responsible for asking you those things. You need to grasp the concept that the stronger and clearer your why is, the better you're able to shape and direct your decisions. When you understand the why, it'll determine whether or not you're willing to pay the price. It'll determine whether you're not willing to deny yourself. When you're willing to give up things that you want now because you remember what you want most. The why is the gas in the tank that makes your life go. And until you identify that why, it's almost kind of like you're just going through the motions. going through the motion. I read this quote by this guy. It's called Nietzsche, is his name. And the quote says, "He who has a why can endure anyhow." He who has a why can endure anyhow. No matter how hard it is, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how long it takes, when you have put your teeth into the why, you keep going. Knowing your why is so important in achieving your goals, because if you don't know why you're willing to do it, what makes you think you're gonna stay the course and do it? Tapping into your why is the thing that makes you bold and courageous. Tapping into the why is where you continue to find your motivation and your endurance. It's the thing that makes you recognize, yeah, there may be risk, but the reward is greater than the risk. The reward is worth pursuing because you know why. Knowing your why literally drops you at the doorstep of purpose. It drops you there. People want to know the path to discover purpose. I believe the path to purpose is on the inside because you came wired with it. Purpose, you don't get to pick your purpose. It came with you. You were created for that purpose. And so deep diving the true purpose means you getting to a place of understanding whose you are and who you are and why you're here, why you're moved by the things that move you, why you are excited about the things that excite you, why the things that tick you off. It begins with why. I do a session on talking about there. Everybody's trying to get to this place called there. There, when I lose the weight, when I get there, when I get to this job, when I get to this place in my marriage, when my kids are out the house, when I get there. What we fail to understand is you're living in your there. This is the there that you get. Today has to matter. Right now, this place called there is your sweet spot. It's the sweet spot in your life where the things you care about, what you can contribute, and living a life of satisfaction and contentment is where they collide. You're there now. So if it's not creating or establishing the things that you want, you need to fix it right here, right now. The there moment that you're in is what you're responsible for stewarding. So as we're talking about purpose and we're talking about why, there's a couple things I want to ask you to kind of help you get your wheels turning on grasping this so you'll understand where we're going, because this is meaty. This is meaty, and I don't want you biting off more than you can chew. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what makes you come alive? What makes you come alive? The word inspire is Latin means to breathe life into. What breathes life into you? What literally makes you jump up and want to go? What makes you want to push? What inspires you? What excites you? Or even the other side is, what's the thing that just disturbs you the most? Because the thing that's in you that excites you, or the thing that bothers you, that why is all connected. Why does it bother you? Why does it inspire you? What makes you come alive, and what takes life out of you? The second question is, what are your inner strengths? So often we focus on the things that we're not good at, our weaknesses and our flaws and our shortcomings, but what are you naturally good at? When people look at you and they see you, they think it's easy. It looks effortless to other people because it's just natural to you. What are your strengths? Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself, what makes you come alive? What strengths and what abilities do you have? And how can you go pour that into the world? What can you go do with that thing? How do you take that stuff and deposit it back into a world that needs you? The third thing is, where do you add the greatest value? Where do you add the greatest value? Where is it when you show up, the situation changes? When you add your input to this, or when you're involved with this, or when you put your hands to this, it's good. Where do you add value? Not lack of education, lack of experience, but no, this is a game. When you show up, the game changes. Where do you add value? What is it that you bring to the table? And when you've left the table, people know you've been there. The fourth thing is, how will you measure your life? How will you measure your life? I've attended way too many funerals the last few months, and a lot of them are people my age, and some of them are younger. We're all living in the dash. We had a start date and we got an end date. And when you're not here, what do you want to last beyond you? What do you want your legacy to be? What will you use as the standard for measuring the success of your life? What is it that matters to you? You know, a boat can handle any size wave if it's perpendicular to it. That means if it's prepared and it's going into it, it can ride it. And I believe when you get to a place where your life is powered by clear purpose, anything can come at you and you can ride that thing. You can soar above that thing. You can allow that thing to take you someplace. But if you don't have clarity on why, and you don't have insight on what, and you are sitting in a place called settled, instead of doing what you can to birth what's been put on the inside of you. Because yeah, everyone has potential, but what are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? You know, when I'm coaching clients, a lot of times they want to just sit down and talk about their goals and what they want to do. I want to lose weight. I want to write my book. I want to do this. And those things are great, but goals don't start with what you want to do. Goals start with who you are. Goals start with self-awareness. Goals start with self-awareness, because transformation doesn't just happen. You know, you can try behavior modification for a little bit, but it's not going to last. You know, you got to literally create a blueprint or a roadmap to where you want to go, but you can't get there unless you know where you're starting. You know, my daughter took a flight today, and before she could book her flight to her ending location, it put in where she was starting. So as we're starting on this Be Intentional journey, as I am starting to challenge you and to dare you, you have got to take some time to figure out where the heck you are. You need a GPS locator for right here, right now, for where you are in your mind, where you are in your life. You've got to be located. You've got to be located. You know, I want you to hit pause right now on your screen, because on page 2 of your handout, there are 15 questions. And I need you to hit pause for a moment on this video and begin to honestly, transparently, and authentically answer these questions. There's no rush, there's no hurry. This is your time. This is your session. This is your class. Don't you hit play until you've completed them. And if you struggle through them, it's okay. I told you I was going to have you have some tough talks with yourself. I told you I was going to make you uncomfortable. Well, it's about to start. Right here on Module 1, it's about to start. So hit pause and come back to me after you finish those questions. Welcome back. Did those 15 questions get you? Is your head kind of spinning a little bit? If it did, I want you to understand, this is why you accepted the I Dare You challenge. This is why right here, right now, in this moment in time, you are literally committing to become intentional. Because there's a whole lot of things about you don't know the answers to. There's a whole lot of things about you've never asked yourself the questions to get to the answer to. You needed to take an inventory of the things that were dancing around in your heart and in your mind and in your life, so that you could see what was there, but you can also take an inventory of what's not there. Because there's some missing ingredients that you want in there. And we got to start right here. There's no shortcut to success. There's no shortcut to victory. There's no shortcut to the process. You have dreams and you have goals that are literally weighing on your heart. And you've invested in this course because you want to get them out. You're no longer content with just having it just sit there dormant.
May the fire on your altar never burn out.